Hey guys, Agent AW here, and it's been a little while since the last video because I've been working on this perspective piece, which takes a fair bit longer than my other pieces, but I am very happy with the end result, and I would like to take you through my process of creating this piece in today's video. As you can probably see by the length of this video compared to my other ones, making a perspective piece takes a lot of time and correction to get all the proportions correct. So as you can see, I am being very thorough in my placing of furniture, heights of everything, and we are about to move on to the people in the photo, which I take a long time just making sure that everybody's the correct height and that the positions aren't blocking each other. I'm also using a 2-point perspective with the blue line being the horizon. I am not giving it any upward or downward tilts to the point of view. I'm keeping it very basic for this piece, and while I'm sure some of you will not be aware of how to create 2-point perspective or what a horizon line is, there are plenty of videos out there already detailing that, so I will leave you to your research. We are now reaching the moment that I move away from the sketching process where I get a good idea of where I'm placing furniture and people, and more into the realms of line work for furniture, which majority of it is the line tool on Photoshop. I still have the perspective grid open for this part because every book, every shelf, every table is needed to be in line with one or two of those red lines, or relatively close to those lines. It doesn't have to be an exact science, but it does need to look correctly, and most of it you can gauge by just the normal human eye. One of the more fun aspects of this piece was creating the clutter on the surfaces. Trying to find the correct balance between messy and clean and neat and tidy and gruesome but not too gruesome, and elegant but still somewhat conservative was quite the challenge and very fun to play and mess around with. And as you'll see, a lot of what's on the surfaces doesn't make it into the finished product because it gets blocked by people, but just making sure that I understood where things were to create a good narrative and understanding of the environment helped create an understanding for how the lighting and every other piece of furniture was going to work. Keep the line art consistent with the perspective. The lines used for the characters get larger or denser or thicker, whichever word you want to use, the closer to the perspective you get. For example, the prisoner tied to the chair is using a smaller diameter of line than the tiefling in the foreground. This just naturally helps to create more of a consistent perspective. A handy tip to remember this by is to start with your line art, not like I did, and start with it in the foreground. So start with your thickest line and then move towards your thinnest. That way you will be able to tell instantly off the bat that you need to use thinner lines, because the thicker lines will make your characters look more smothered by them. As you can see here, I start shading the characters, but then realize that I probably should figure out where my lighting is first. And the lighting I end up having a couple of goes at trying to perfect, because candle flame is quite the hard method of lighting. As I said before, this piece took quite a while to get perfected. In total, it took me about 2 weeks of on and off drawing, which collectively turned into about 14 hours of footage, and that is only the footage. I had started mapping out this piece before I even started pressing record because I needed to figure out if this was going to work or not. But I am very glad that I persisted with it and got it working when I didn't think it would, and came back to it when I got frustrated, because it ended up turning into a very, very nice piece. The lighting of this piece was a very key aspect that was hard to get balanced. I have this tendency to make the pieces I do very dark because I want to make them very moody and dramatic, but I often make them too dark to the point that they turn into just blank slates with no discernible features. So balancing the amount of candlelight reflecting off other objects was really key in making sure that the piece didn't end up being purely dark, but at the same time had enough darkness to imply that it was at least partially nighttime outside. And as I finish some of the last flames and reflections, I would like to thank everyone who is still with me. I realized that I left it quite a while without releasing another video. My life just got very busy very quickly, and I do hope to have more videos out to you very, very soon. But for now, if you liked the video, then please like the video, and if you want, you can subscribe and I will be putting out more videos in the future.